and welcome to The Darts Show, a brand new monthly show where you get all the news, reviews, interviews and backstage stories from the world of darts. The PDC are celebrating almost 25 years, and over that time we've crowned champions around the world and seen the rise of the biggest names in the sport.
Taylor for 32!
Darts has grown in huge popularity. Fans across the globe pack into arenas to see the biggest names in the game compete, and the sport is still growing.
Unbelievable! Peter Wright pulls off a sensational victory here in Yokohama.
Now we have the chance to travel with the players as they embark on another year on the darts circuit. Over the next 12 months, we get to know the stars of the game a little bit better. We'll also be on the scout for up-and-coming talent as we look out for the stars of the future. This is a place to get all the up-to-date news from the world of darts. This is what's coming up on today's show. We report from the 2017 PDC Awards dinner to see who wins this year's trophies. We meet the new Australian sensation Corey Cadby. And we follow Michael van Gerwen as he returns home as the new world champion. Now, joining me in the studio is darts reporter Dan Dawson and former Players champion Paul Nicholson. Welcome to the show, guys. Now, let's cut to the chase. 2016, what a season, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, completely. I think we've seen some of the best darts that we have ever seen, but we've seen new tournaments, new territories moved into. I mean, the Champions League of Darts, a brand new thing on terrestrial telly, actually broadcast all over the world. The World Series has grown, and you know, we've seen some players really make significant progress.
Yeah. Now, Paul, talk to me about the standard of darts across the board.
The standard really has been rising and rising and rising every year. And I know it's one of those things where you think every season, yeah, it's got better. But it really has, because you're talking about players coming from qualifying school now who are hitting these really big standards and troubling some of the consistent professionals.
And they're almost fearless, aren't they, the up-and-coming guys?
Absolutely fearless, especially the young kids. It's really annoying, because when I was younger, I used to think, well, I'm still a young player, but now I'm 37 years of age and I'm looking at these kids who are maybe 19, 20 years of age, and I'm thinking, why couldn't I have been that fearless when I was 20? But that's the way it is now. When you mention, you know, Phil Taylor from way back, he was the one who set the standard. And now Michael van Gerwen's taking it further. Everybody's working harder, be it Peter Wright or someone who comes through qualifying school. They're all wanting to get to that level, and they're getting very close.
I think you've also seen, as you say, you've got one man setting the standard, but the number of people out there who can go and throw these ridiculous averages and numbers, I think that is probably expanding. And that means that you're getting games which are just mind-blowing, even if it doesn't involve the top boy in world darts. And that's exciting, because that means whenever you're watching PDC darts, you've got a chance of seeing something incredibly special, even if it isn't with MVG.
Well, just look at Perth with Cadby, when he was averaging way north of 100 and still couldn't beat Peter Wright. But it was good enough to beat Phil Taylor, though.
Yeah, well, it was absolutely amazing. Here's a reminder of what happened in 2016.
Double five. And he's got it. He takes yet another title.
And another monumental Michael van Gerwen performance.
The world #1 proves that he is the #1.
Anderson ends the reign of Michael van Gerwen in Dubai. Team England. Gary Anderson has won in Auckland. Michael van Gerwen is the sensation in Shanghai. Gary Anderson wins a thriller.
Double 16. And Michael van Gerwen is still the boss in Blackpool. And Phil Taylor wins in Sydney. Is this the moment for Michael van Gerwen to win the World Series title in Perth?
The inaugural Champions League of Darts goes to Phil Taylor.
Game shot, 3 titles on the Unibet World Tour. And there it is, Van Gerwen does it again.
Michael Van Gerwen defends his World Series crown.
And that's why the Dutchman is the champ.
Australian starlet Corey Campbell has darts for the match. To be crowned the PDC Unicorn World Youth Champion.
Great darts, brilliant performance, and Michael Van Gerwen takes the title. The bullseye, and Michael Van Gerwen has waited 3 long years for that magical moment.
So many fantastic moments there, Paul. What kind of is Michael Van Gerwen's year, wasn't it?
It was Michael Van Gerwen's season all the way through, and the standard that he brought all season is one of the reasons why he won all those titles. And the scary thing is he could have won even more, but he is human. Sometimes he just doesn't win everything. But I think you and I have spoken in the past, Dan, about it's not just things on TV that he's won. He's actually gone out and won European Tour events and other tour events as well.
He's winning everything.
And his stats are unbelievable, aren't
yeah,
they?
OK, well, let's put it this way. So he's won 26 titles in a 12-month spell. He's won all the big ones, so all the big singles, senior ranking events. He's won everything on telly for singles, apart from the Champions League. And in doing so, he has smashed loads of records. He's winning 58% of his tournaments. If you were hitting 58% of your doubles, that would be world class. But if you're winning 58% of your tournaments, that is something special.
Well, here's a question for you. Can he get any better? Can he improve? Is that easy?
I mean, he could.
Yeah.
He could.
That's exciting.
He genuinely could.
He really can get better. So we'll probably find out the next few months.
Yeah, well, it's an exciting season to look forward to, isn't it?
Indeed.
Well, January saw the finale of the year with the World Championship. Now, it's concluded with the annual awards dinner, and I got the honour of going to see who was picked for the prestigious trophies. The Dorchester Hotel here in central London has become somewhat a familiar face in the world of darts, and tonight it is the PDC Darts Awards. The biggest names in the business have gathered to celebrate another successful year of darts.
The whole level of the darts within the PDC has gone so high.
Every tournament is special. You've got the Grand Prix, the Grand Slam, the match play, all of them are so amazing.
Not only are we the fastest expanding sport in the world, you only just started.
Tonight we'll acknowledge some of the accomplishments of some of the newest faces in the game. We celebrate some monumental achievements from an action-packed season.
And another monumental performance.
And Michael Van Gerwen, king of darts again.
And we pay tribute to the best players over the last 12 months.
2016 was magical. It was the MVG year.
Michael Van Gerwen, he has totally changed the game.
He's got a big target on his back now. We'll see how he can handle it.
Our first award recognises the best PDC Pro Tour Player of the Year and is presented to the most successful player in European Tour events, Players' Championships and UK Open qualifiers away from the TV cameras in the past 12 months.
The winner of the Best Pro Tour Player, well, the winner with £270,000 from 6 European Tour wins, 5 Players' Championship titles and 3 UK Open qualifiers, it can only be Mighty Mike, Michael Van Gerwen.
The next award recognises the most outstanding performance on a televised PDC tournament in the past 12 months.
The winner of the award goes to Phil Taylor.
Phil Taylor added his unrivalled CV with victory in the inaugural Champions League darts in September. On that occasion, he was too good for his great rival Michael van Gerwen.
Well, it's all kicking off here. It really is. The scoring is incredible from both players.
Oh, look at this from Taylor.
This is for an incredible win from the power.
He'll have a double at it. Double top for a 10-4 win against Michael van Gerwen. He's done it. Phil Taylor is right back to his best.
The Hall of Fame added a new name to its roll of honour, former world champion John Part.
Tops for the world title. Double 10. Tired dot. Last chance here at the moment. 10 shots. John Part secures the double that brings a smile to his face.
World Darts champion.
It's nice to get a nod back to someone like myself, instrumental maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I don't know. But really, to me, I just love playing darts. That's the only reason I was ever involved, and it's so special to get this award.
John Part!
One of the other awards handed out on the night was to the PDC Young Player of the Year. Now, the winner was Benito van der Pas, but unfortunately, he was unable to attend the Darts Awards. So we caught up with him a few days later in his hometown in Holland.
It means a lot for me. I think it was the 4th year now that I was nominated, and now I finally won it. It's been a great year, especially on the floor tournaments. I won 3 Pro Tours, and yeah, I think it was a nice reward to win the Young Trophy. But the highlights, I think the first highlight was to beat Michael in the final, and my second Pro Tour I won 6-0 in the final with a 111 average. And I had some quarterfinals on television, so I'm playing better and better on the stage. Yeah, I'm feeling confident the last few months, and I hope to keep this form for the rest of this year.
Double 15. Simply sensational performance from Benito van der Pas.
I'm winning more games now, and I'm playing more on the stage. It's a really nice feeling when you win a tournament, and if you have a television tournament the week after that, yeah, it feels so good.
Benito's rise up the world rankings into the top 16 means a possibility of a Premier League place in the coming years is not out of reach.
I know if I play well on the stage and I win Pro Tours like what I did this year, then I think I can be in maybe 1, 2 or 3 years. But it's to me to keep this form, and I'm doing everything to hold this. I'm practicing a lot, and yeah, what I say, I'm feeling really well, and the confidence is very good at the moment.
Fellow Dutchman and current world champion Michael van Gerwen lives just 20 minutes away in Vlijmen, which has been of great benefit to Benito.
He helped me in my first year of the PDC circuit. It was really hard for me, and financially I was down, and he sponsored me 2 tournaments, the Gibraltar one and the Salzburg, and then I beat him on the tournament he was sponsoring me. So, but with that prize money, I keep playing further of the year, and now I'm number 15 in the world.
Tops, one more, that's all he needs. Great marker. Go on.
And he does it. What a fantastic match. The #1 seed, reigning world champion, dumped out by his fellow countrymen.
For this year, I want to try to win at least 1 Pro Tour, and hope to be high in the rankings of the Pro Tour ranking, so I can play all the Euro Tours. And I don't think I have a lot to defend this year, so I hope to have the same year as last year, so I can maybe go to the top number 10 place.
Well, a fantastic young player and a deserving winner of the Young Player Award. Now, we'll be back with more from the PDC Awards later. And still to come, we're backstage at the World Championship with Corey Cadby, and Paul Nicholson is on hand to give some darts tips and tricks. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the Darts Show. Now, this is the place for all the up-to-date news from the world of darts. Now, joining me in the studio is darts reporter Dan Dawson and former Players' Champion Paul Nicholson. Now, this month we're taking a look back at the last year, and wow, what a year it was for one player in particular, Michael van Gerwen. Now, he won 26 tournaments in the past 12 months and a massive £1.7 million in prize money. Now, coming up, we follow the Dutchman as he's welcomed home as the new world champion. But first, let's return to the Darts Awards. Now, I was there a few weeks ago to find out who won this year's awards. As the sport continues to grow, it's really no surprise that there are plenty of new faces and fresh talent emerging to challenge the established order. Now, they're shaking up the sport, and this next award recognises the player who's been judged to have made the most improvement over the last 12 months.
Recognising his rise into the world's top 10, a first ranking title and a run to the Unibet European Championship final is Mensur Suljovic.
There was one player that was dominant at the awards this year, Michael van Gerwen, who also won Fans Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year.
It's nice that they vote for you. I think I also deserved it, and I think they couldn't really vote for someone else because I had a phenomenal year, and yeah, it was incredible. And this is. It all went too fast, to be fair, because it was such a great year, and it's really nice of all my colleagues that they voted for me.
It's been an incredible 12 months with some spectacular performances as records have fallen by the wayside and new heights have been reached. The players' commitment and passion for the sport is never in doubt. And here to present the Player of the Year award is Dave Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Player of the Year, mighty Michael van Gerwen.
Phenomenal year. I won so many things, and of course the main one, the World Championship, also comes with the Player of the Year awards, and it was an absolutely phenomenal year for me, and I hope I can continue this fantastic performance.
It really was a fantastic year for Michael van Gerwen. Now, the day after the PDC Awards dinner, we followed him home to the Netherlands, where his fans were waiting to celebrate his success.
The bullseye! And Michael van Gerwen has waited 3 long years for that magical moment to be crowned King of Darts again.
After the excitement of Alexandra Palace, Michael returned home to the calm of Lyman. That calm didn't last long, though, as the Dutch media descended, all trying to get a word with the champ.
Everybody was talking about it because we had a world champion darts again, and everybody looked at it at television. And as you can see, there's a lot of press here now as well from all the different Dutch TV stations, and it's huge. It's really huge. Darts has grown in the Netherlands. It's become bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a real hype, and the fact that he got the world title back after 2014. It's tremendous. It's unbelievable. Without a shadow of a doubt, he's the best dart player in the world. If you look at the way he plays, the level he gets, nobody can get there. But what Michael has done has been great. Not only has he won 25 tournaments last year, he got all the pressure on his shoulders because he said, I want to become world champion again. I want the world title back. I want to hold the Sid Waddell trophy. The pressure was unbelievable, and he did it. He made it happen, and that was history. It's one of the biggest sports moments already in 2017. This is top of the bill.
And as if to prove how big this really is, almost 4,000 local darts fans, as well as many Dutch dignitaries, turned up to celebrate Mighty Mike's second world title.
It's fantastic. It's something you work for all year, and this is, the cherry on the cake. Everyone's happy. All the important people went on the stage, the men from the town, the men from the government, and this is something really special. And I'm just enjoying every moment of it. Fantastic. Go and enjoy the rest of your night, Mike. Thank you very much.
Well, never mind the trophy. That cake looked amazing. Now, Dan, what a reception for Michael van Gerwen.
Yeah, you can see what it means to the darts fans in Holland. But it's not just the 4,000 that turned out to watch him. You can see all the assembled media. Something getting emotional. Even Big Arjen from Dutch Telly was. But the Prime Minister in the Netherlands phoned Michael van Gerwen to congratulate him straight after his Ali Pali win. It's a significant set of achievements that he's been producing, and it's turning him into a worldwide star, not just a national one.
Yeah, because he's such a huge role model, isn't he?
Yeah, completely. I have to say, I've got immense respect for Michael van Gerwen as a player, but just as a champion, I think the way he carries himself, the way he behaves, I think he's been as good as we've seen. He's been superb.
There are more young players out there watching it and trying to get better because of Michael van Gerwen. He has lifted the standard from the Phil Taylor standard 10 years ago to another level, and that's why people, not just coming through, but existing players are getting better.
Now, what can we expect to see from Michael van Gerwen then in 2017, do you reckon?
More titles, and
truckloads of them.
Answer a few more questions about his personal life. Obviously, he's going to become a father in 2017, so it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to that.
Do you think that'll change things? Or?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've seen some players get actually better when they've had a kid. Mark Webster's the obvious one that springs to mind, but he still wants to turn up and play everything. I mean, if he stopped playing for a number of months, Michael van Gerwen has won so much money, he would still be the #1 in the world. So, he'd still be top seeding. So if he wanted to take a back seat for a bit, he could. But I think he still likes going out there and winning things, and he's the best equipped person in the world to do it right now.
And that's certainly what we want to see as well. Well, we still have plenty more to come. We go backstage at the Worlds with Corey Cadby, and we look at what's coming up on the darts calendar in 2017. Welcome back to the Darts Show, the place for all the news on the darts circuit. Now, I'm joined in the studio by darts reporter Dan Dawson and former Players Champion Paul Nicholson. Now, here's a chance to look at the headlines this month. Michael van Gerwen wins a World Championship for the second time in a record-breaking event. Prize money is going to 11.2 million on the PDC circuit. And Q-School will see the beginning of the season in January as 400 players compete for tour cards. So it's safe to say it really was a record-breaking World Championship.
Yeah, there are all sorts of records being broken. In terms of the 180s, for example, they broke the 700 barrier. Individual players were matching and then breaking records. So the standard really was what set it apart.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, we had Cristo Reyes with the highest losing average, something like 106. And then just when you think it couldn't get any better, Raymond van Barneveld lifted the bar on the losing average even more in the semi-finals to 109. And then Gary breaks Chizzy's equal record from the 180s of an individual in a match. Yeah. And it just seemed like everything was going to tumble, and by the end of it, I think everything had.
Yeah, and the prize money, of course, has increased to £11.2 million.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that's not just all being shovelled into Michael van Gerwen's pocket or Gary Anderson's pocket, the guys who are at the top of the rankings. That's going all over the place. So it's becoming more viable if you're in that sort of top 32, top 64, to be earning a decent living as a dart player. And obviously that's what we need for a healthy, competitive sport with strength in depth.
Now talk to me about Q-School, Dan.
Well, look, we're filming this a couple of days before Q-School actually gets going. But by the time it goes out, we'll know whether, for example, this man has a tour card or not. How are you feeling about that?
A little nervous about it, obviously, because I've never been to Q-School before, and all the people that I've spoken to about it so far said it's horrible. So
well, that's something to look forward to,
yeah,
then,
absolutely.
isn't it?
But the good thing about it is it's a challenge and it's something different. And I see it as a really good blank canvas to start all over again. And I know it's not just myself who's looking forward to it. John Part, 3-time world champions, having to go there, and a whole bunch of major finalists like Ronnie Baxter, Barry Bates, and all those guys are definitely looking forward to going trying their luck. But it's not going to be easy because there are so many great players there. Just going to have to see who comes out best over the 4 days.
However, you, John Part, former world champion, other guys who made big TV finals, are you not going into it going, hang on, I'm a name here, and you've got all these young guns turn up? You've talked about them being fearless. They don't care who you are. They just actually see it as an added incentive to go and beat the asset Paul Nicholson, don't they?
They do, and I think the mentality of that is forget about who you are, go in and do it. I think John Part, it doesn't matter if you've got 3 world titles and other majors to your name. It doesn't matter what I've won before because they don't give a hoot. They really don't. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going in there, blank canvas, basically as myself, and I've got to go and prove myself once more, and I think the other guys have definitely got to do the same.
We wish you the best of
Thank
luck
you.
with that. Well, one player who we expected to be at Q School is Corey Cadby, who instead decided to spend another year at home with his family in Australia. But one thing is for sure, he has a huge future in the sport. Now, Dan caught up with the new World Youth Champion at Ali Pali in December.
So this is the Wall of Champions. Win a PDC World title, you get yourself on here. 2-time World Champion Adrian Lewis there. There's only 7 men on this wall. But there's a new generation of dart players who genuinely believe they have the talent to be on here with these great men, such as 16-time World Champion Phil the Power Taylor. And there is one in particular from this new breed who, despite being very confident, some would say quite brash, is supremely talented.
I started playing darts when I was around 16 years old. Dad was number 2 in Australia at the time. I used to wake him up when I was I wouldn't say a baby, but a little young kid, saying bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. But I've always picked up and thrown a dart, but it was just at the age of 16 when I basically started playing competition.
Ali Pali, only a few hours since you stepped in here for the first time. Drink it in, it's a little bit different now. What were you expecting when you first walked in here?
Oh, to be honest, a couple of days, I didn't know what to expect. The crowd is massive, and the chants they do, to be honest, I'd be lying if I was saying I wasn't nervous. The atmosphere, the crowd, it was just didn't seem real, because I've never been in something so big.
What would it mean to you to be a regular fixture?
Oh mate, this is where I'm gonna win it. So simple as that.
There's not enough room on the wall, mate. There's like 7 names up there at the minute.
They're gonna have to make another bit of the wall, mate. Simple.
For a 21-year-old lad, you've got an awful lot going on. You know, your partner, a couple of kids, you've moved away from where you grew up. Darts has been kind of a rock for you, keeping you steady throughout all that, hasn't it?
No, well, basically, mate, playing darts makes me not have to work, so I just class darts as my job now, so. But yeah, bringing in a wage and also enjoying myself doing it is nothing better.
So we've got the walk-on area just there. You're brought out. John McDonald introduces you.
From Australia, the reigning World Youth Champion, the King, Corey Cadby.
What's running through your head?
Adrenaline and a little bit of nerves, but the adrenaline kicked over the nerves, so at that stage I wasn't there. The adrenaline took the nerves off. It was just all smiles, mate.
Just how important are your partner and your kids to you and in your darting career?
Oh, well, they're massive, mate. After losing my brother at the age of 12, that was a massive problem to me and my family, so you fear no one and live day by day. So it makes me bring my family closer and closer. We've got a really strong connection. Family's everything. Without family, I'm nothing.
So you've walked up, you're on stage for the very first time for your preliminary round game with Kiang Sun. What was this like?
Oh, it was huge. It was amazing. It was the best feeling ever. The crowd was... I honestly thought they was going to be against me because of my nickname, and same with Mervyn. But they was 100% with me, and it was awesome.
I think we've seen probably already in your very brief PDC darting career that you've got a bit of swagger, a bit of confidence, and we've seen you go and beat Phil Taylor in a big TV stage. We've seen you go and become a world youth champion. How do you hone your game to sort all that out and be the best player you can be?
Just tunnel fishing, mate. My darts to the board. It can't get any more simpler. The crowd's fantastic, but you just block the crowd out and just play your own game, not the players.
When we see you again on the big stages, are you going to take it to Van Gerwen and Taylor and people like that? Are you going to get in their faces and celebrate?
Yeah, do it to all of them. I will, and I can't wait to play Van Gerwen. Cannot wait.
How big could you be, Corey? Where do you think you can go?
I can go to the top, and I know for a fact in a couple of years I will be at the top.
Corey Cadby, exciting Australian dart player there from one of those to another one. It is Paul Nicholson, former Players Champion. Paul, you're here at the practice board. You're going to take us through bits of technique that hopefully can improve all our games over the coming months. A very basic one, but very important one we're going to start with. It's the stance, right?
Yeah, the stance is where everything starts. So what we want to do is get you standing right in front of the dartboard so that we can eliminate errors and make sure that you've got a nice solid throw. So, I'm a right-hander. I'm going to put my right foot forward, but if you're a left-hander, you want to put your left foot forward. Okay, so right foot forward there. Second foot goes back, and that wants to be rooted on the floor so you're nice and stable. Body position, nice and relaxed, pointing away from the board, not square up, so you've got a nice, stable base.
How are you lining yourself up there? Because you're not completely bang down the middle in line with the bullseye, are you?
Not at all. I'm actually lining myself up with the right-hand side of the treble 20, because if I've got a tendency to do anything, it's just to pull it a little bit to the left, and that gives me a bit more room for error.
OK. Well, other players will stand in different parts. You do sacrifice something by throwing from different distances, essentially, don't you, if you're going for different parts of the board?
You do, because if you go from the right-hand side, you're going to cut down the size of the trebles and the doubles, and I just feel like going from the centre is the best option.
OK. Well, just chuck a dart. You've got to stay stable as you do this, haven't you? Just illustrate what you mean by that.
Yeah, I don't really like to see the option of hopping or going forward or back or rocking from side to side. I'm a big advocate for staying still, a pillar-like thing. Like Gary Anderson, he throws a dart and stays very, very still. So I'm the same. I like to do this, stay very, very still, right foot rooted, left is stabilised at the back, and then nothing moves as you throw that dart forward.
Oh, it's looking so good. 81 will have to do. So 3 things to remember then.
Right foot forward, left foot stable at the back, nice cool body position, nice and relaxed. Stay still as you throw.
Thank you very much, Paul Nicholson, for answering my questions. I'm going to ask you a question now. It is what happened next. This is from Ali Pali, the World Championship 2015. Tell us what did happen next.
Welcome back to the Darts Show. Now, before the break, we looked back at some footage from the 2015 World Championship. Now, did you guess it right? What happens next?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 9 set, first leg, carrying the throw first. Game on!
We have a level match, and it's sometime, well, it feels right, doesn't it?
Well, I've seen it all now. I have literally seen everything now.
Well, proving that things don't always go right for the top players. Now, we've got loads of up-and-coming events in 2017. Talk to me about Las Vegas.
Vegas, baby. It's time to go back. We haven't been back there for quite a long time, and I think for the right reasons. We actually didn't do that tournament for quite some time, but it's definitely the time to go back because there is a lot of interest in darts in America, but it's an underlying community, and we want that community to come out and really support this event so that we can get darts on TV. The amount of people who want to watch darts live in America is amazing. We just need them to come out and support it.
Well, you just got to try and follow the model of what's happened in Germany, really, and a lot of that is built on the European tour. And you look at how that has grown over the last few years. We've got 12 events in 2017, a load of new venues, places like Göttingen, Saarbrücken, Maastricht in Holland, and they're at the bigger end. I mean, some of these crowds are bigger than major tournament crowds. We're talking several thousand for every single session on this weekend. I love the European Tour. It's a superb mix of sort of weird European camp and top darts. It's brilliant. I can't wait to see what happens over the course of 2017 on it.
And one of my favourite venues, Dusseldorf, which held 1,700 people, we can't use that anymore because it simply isn't big enough. We're having to go to places like Riesa in East Germany, which hold upwards of 4,000 to 4,500. It's just the way it's going. The demand stipulates that you need bigger venues, and that's exactly where we're going.
Such a turning point for darts at the moment, isn't it?
Massive, because there is a community out there that just want to watch live darts and get involved in the atmospheres, and you don't want to be leaving people outside who really want to come in. If the demand is there, you provided tickets in the arenas and they can come inside and just go absolutely crazy like they usually do in Germany.
Yeah, they're getting used to it.
Yeah, just a bit.
Certainly an exciting time for fans. Now, as the sport continues to grow, the players around the world are also upping their game as they compete against the likes of Michael van Gerwen. Now, as Dan said, over the past 10 years, the PDC has become established in Germany. Now, a new crop of players are starting to emerge, and at the World Championship, German fans were also making their mark. The World Darts Championship attracts fans from all over the world, but one nation has a bigger presence than most. They're pretty good with a round ball, and they're getting stronger by the month with the arrows.
Yeah, I think darts is very popular in German television. It's a great show, and we want to be here live, and now we are here, yeah?
I can't describe it. I am watching this since 10 years. 2005. Likely 10 years, and the atmosphere is amazing. It's amazing.
We are so happy about this to be here. We watched it now since 3 years, 4 years starts, and finally we got tickets, and that's amazing.
Darts, bring me to England! Yeah, that's it.
The German fans know that the World Dart Championship is the biggest event in the world. There's nothing bigger than it, and everybody wants to be once live here in the Ally Pally.
With the likes of former world youth champion Max Hopp making a name for themselves on the world stage, a nation whose passion for the sport is unbridled are firmly getting behind the boys at the Oki.
We've sold just over 10% of tickets for the whole World Championship to fans who've come from Germany. It's pretty safe to say most of those guys have seen darts before because of the growth of the European Tour and the World Cup and the European Championship that we've staged in Germany before. So it's fantastic to see them travelling and coming over to support the event, really, because it's fair to say there isn't a German player who's perhaps expected to win the event. So for them just to come over and support the event generally shows the passion for darts within that country.
Once the Germans put their mind to something, success generally follows.
It's quite amazing, and we are not very surprised about it because the passion for darts in Germany is so huge, and it's growing bigger and bigger from year to year, and it's brilliant.
So what can we expect? A quick rise to fame and a superstar, or will it be langsome, little by little for this emerging darts nation?
There's a lot of players in Germany and there's a lot of talent in Germany. It's just difficult to be a full-time professional because of the costs involved. So with the extra prize money that's been added into the European Tour and the extra tournaments that have been added as well, there's more opportunities for players like Max Hopp, Mensa Suljovic, who we've seen from Austria break into the top 16 this year, and the guys coming up behind them, more opportunities for them to dedicate their lives to darts rather than have to balance it with a career. So I think within the next 5 to 10 years we'll see a player established in the top 10 from Germany, if not sooner.
Now, the fans really are enthusiastic about this growing sport, aren't they?
Massively. They just love to be loud, they like to sing, and very much like the British audiences, they just want to join in, be part of the atmosphere and watch some amazing action done.
Yeah, I mean, they've fallen in love with it, and they've really embraced darts, but they've done it without having a real leading light to look up to, be a figurehead for sort of European darts, or German darts particularly. We've got the likes of Mensah and Kim Huybrechts, but just imagine if you do get a top German player. I mean, it'll just keep on going.
Yeah, it certainly will. Now, let's take a look at the rankings as they stand at the start of 2017 then. Now, obviously, Michael van Gerwen's like £1 million in front of the rest, but they are a chasing pack behind him, aren't they?
They are, and there are people who are climbing the rankings a little bit slower, but they're starting to make a name for themselves. I pick out someone like Joe Cullen, who had a real standout year in 2016. He's really starting to get a foothold as to what kind of player he wants to become. and other players like Daryl Gurney, for instance, who are really starting to make a move. I feel like they're the kind of guys who could potentially start breaking the top 10 in the next 12 to 18 months.
Yeah. And who else stands out for you, Dan?
Well, I mean, one of the things you've got to look at there as well, I mean, it's weird seeing Phil Taylor with 6 next to his name for a start. But Terry Jenkins, just outside that top 16, he said that he's winding down his career, so you would expect him to start falling. That leaves opportunities for other players to make pretty big strides up those rankings. And they'll look to somebody like Mensah, who's managed to go from 20 to 8 within a year, and think, well, if he can do that, why can't I? And Max Hopp, the lad we mentioned in the previous bit about the German fans, you know, he's just outside that top 32. All right, he's going to have to really step up his game. But any of those guys, even that you don't see on the graphics there, just outside that 32, a big year, they could make huge strides, because there are at least a couple of names there who won't be playing everything. The big question for me, Raymond van Barneveld has looked very, very enthusiastic and interested, and the World Championship, he was incredible. He said he's going to play everything in 2017. It remains to be seen whether he does, but if he does, expect him to go only one way, and that is up.
Well, he's going to the Premier League, and can he couple that with doing European tours, UK Open qualifiers, and everything that comes with that? He's going to be away from home an awful lot, so time will tell as to whether he's going to do everything.
Well, it's safe to say 2017 is the year, isn't it, for darts? Eh?
Could well be. I mean, 2016 was a bit of a downer for a lot of people, but in darts terms, it was epic. I just think we can only go one way, and that's up.
Well, the players ranked in the top 16 compete in January at the Unibet Masters in Milton Keynes. Now, it's the 5th staging of the event, and Michael van Gerwen is bidding to win a 3rd successive title. Now, here's a chance to look back at the history of the Masters.
4 years ago, we saw the first Unibet Masters as 16 players faced off for the inaugural title. And since then, we've been treated to some fantastic darts as the biggest names have gone head-to-head. Phil Taylor picked up the first trophy in 2013. He dropped only 7 legs and defeated Adrian Lewis 10-1 in the final.
Taylor then to be the first winner. He's got 2 darts at double 12. Is it going to be this one? It is! It's all over. Phil Taylor is the Coral Masters champion. Phil Taylor, once again, a different class.
The Power was beaten in the semi-finals in 2014, losing 11-9 to James Wade, who then treated us to a hugely memorable final against Mervyn King. King looked set to claim the title when he led 9-2, but Wade mounted an incredible fight back before taking victory in a last leg decider.
Want to go ball first here, John? Oh, that leaves 85.
Tops. He's got it for tops! For the match! He's done it! What a comeback from James Wade!
The tournament's moved to Milton Keynes 2 years ago, saw a new champion crowned as Michael van Gerwen produced a stunning display, averaging over 112 and in 1160 feet of Raymond van Barneveld.
That was a good effort and a wry smile from Barney, because he knows that that is probably the end of it. And it is! Michael van Gerwen is the Masters champion. He was exceptional.
Then we saw some of the most gripping darts action 12 months ago. The semi-final saw the Dutchman up against Phil Taylor in a nail-biter, and the 16-time world champion just could not get over the line.
Psychologically, if he wins this, he's reborn. Double 2 is what he's looking for. Surely now. Oh no, it's the wrong side of the wire.
You couldn't write this in a script.
And it is 10-all. This is van Gerwen's chance to take it out. The Taylor fans can hardly bear to watch. Double 12 for the match, and he's done it.
MVG then retained the title in impressive style, defeating Dave Chisnell 11-6.
Double 5. And he's got it this time. Michael van Gerwen takes yet another title and retains the crown that he won last year.
It's guaranteed to be another fantastic tournament this year, and we will certainly be there.
The Masters is a great tournament, isn't it?
I love the Masters because the elite players are there from the very beginning. The #1 seed plays against the 16th seed, and then you've got 15 versus 2, and everything meets in the middle. It's just a great event from the start, and it always seems to bring something every year. We've had an incredible final between Mervyn King and James Wade, where things got a little bit unusual at the end, and missed darts from Philip Taylor as well. So it'll be interesting to see what this year brings.
Yeah, and you know, you've got elite players duking out in the Masters, obviously going on right now, but you know, give it a few days, Premier League starts up, so you've got 10 of these guys, including Jelle Klaasen, Kim Huybrechts back in action. We've got, you know, the floor tournaments, the serious business of some proper leisure centre darts action, but that's going to decide who's competing at the UK Open with the qualifiers we've got there, so loads of stuff going on.
Well, we'll be bringing you all the news from those events next month. Now, huge thanks to Dan and Paul. This has been The Darts Show. We'll see you next time.